Yo, what's going on, my heroes, my villains, my fellow card collectors, and everybody else on YouTube? It's your bromie, the Gale, back at it again with another hero video. Let's get it. Okay, so we're back with another hero video. So I've been deep diving recently, and when I get in the zone, I get in the zone. Like, when I find an opportunity, I like to strike fast and strike hard. Shout out to Cobra Kai. But yeah, whatchamacallit. So I found the Randy Chavez podcast. I was listening to him and software engineer K. They are some prominent VV community content creators, very smart individuals. And in that podcast, I heard a lot of information that I thought should be shared to more people. I didn't want people to miss out on that, so that's what this video is going to be. I'm going to play a segment of that live stream. Be sure to check out the full stream on Randy Chavez's channel. And yeah, in this video, just pay attention. You know, nobody in this video is a financial expert or advisor. This is just information that you should consider before investing in the Hero platform. So without further ado, let's breeze into it.
And being interoperable. Explain to me, like I'm 5, like I'm Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
What attracts you to HRO, and what is something that you find that passes all your check marks that would make you think that it's a good investment?
Okay, so I guess a good place to start is, what is HRO? Because I only discovered it 2 days ago, and I've just been buying like crazy since, and I think everyone's noticed I've been buying like crazy.
Biscuits going ham on it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those addiction things where it's like one more, I need to buy one more. Wake up in the morning, brush my teeth, buy one more. It's like that kind of thing. Yeah, so basically I used to compete. So I was like, I was actually I won quite a few regional tournaments. Like, I was addicted to like trading card games, like specifically Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to study like the meta, all the strategies. Like, I knew off the top of my head every single card and exactly what it did, how many defense hit points it had. Like, I was that level addicted. So yeah, basically I was always like a heavy hardcore like card collector. Before that, Pokemon as well. I know that you're like well versed in Pokemon. So so basically, obviously. So basically, Hero, what it is if you just see like what I showed you, just picture that, but on the blockchain. So it's trading cards on a blockchain. And that's like a very kind of, intuitive place where I would expect trading cards to go. Because, trading cards, it's like, they got utility, they're supposed to be scarce, etc. They got that, the data about, the card, all of that stuff. It all made sense. And so I was kind of waiting for a good project to come around that did trading cards. And then I've seen so many projects that have kind of gone under my radar that I've been watching, like all the wax stuff, Recur, etc. And some of them, they're okay, they hit some of my criteria, but it's not enough for me to invest in. Even Recur, I actually passed on that. I was like, and no fault to Recur, like I think there are some good points, but it was just, for me, it just didn't hit all my criteria. So when this came along, I obviously kind of scanned it the same way. So I was like, okay, so this is the criteria that I looked at. The first one was, is this by a notable, credible group of people, company? And and this, by the way, this is the same criteria I applied to VV, and VV was like the only project at the time that passed this criteria, and he was the next one since VV that I've gone through that's passed this criteria. So I was like, okay, they've got Tencent backing them, they're huge. The company behind them that's partnered, that's printing the physical cards, is Cartomundi, and Cartomundi, they've done cards since 1990s, like a really long time. Oh, wow. They did Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is quite popular, and people in the trading card like kind of scene, they know about Cartomundi, and then the main company is called Collects, and Collects, they already have they've been doing this for a while now. They did the Counter-Strike NFTs, the trading cards for those. They did the PUBG ones, so like big games, and outside of that, they've got like a history of like just doing trading card stuff. And so I was like, okay, they passed that criteria. So the next criteria I looked at was, okay, so this the other one that VV met is, are their NFTs licensed? And the obvious one was, okay, they did it VV style. They kicked off with DC. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then that's what piqued my interest. And then I dug a bit more deeper into it, and I was like, okay, the one that most of the projects I look at fail, and this is where Recur didn't meet it for me, is have they got a credible working product on the market? And this is the one that sold me. Because Vivi, they had their kind of Vivi app already running when I joined. So I was like, okay, the product's there. Beta, it was in beta, but it was there, it was working, it was cool. The thing with, and people have kind of noticed as well with HRO, is I spoke to the co-founder today. They had been developing this product for 5 years.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
Not even 3 years. I thought it was 3 years, but 5 years, because a lot of the groundwork had been done, and it was only around about 3 years ago when the product they were developing, they started adapting it for NFTs, because they too had the same vision, because it's a group of collectors, trading card collectors, people passionate about that stuff, obviously with their company, and they kind of had the same sort of vision that Vivi had, because I knew there's no way that Vivi could have been the only company that had that thought process 3 years ago. We could use the blockchain for collectibles. Like, surely there must have been other ones. So now they're kind of coming out of the woodwork, and Heroes just popped up. So they have a working iOS and Android app. It's pretty smooth. You can download it and try it out now. They've got a working web platform as well, which was cool. Not just that, I was like kind of, navigating myself around. You can go follow people, you can set up trades, and the trades in there, what I really like is you can do batch trades. So if you have one really rare card, I can offer you 3 less rare cards, so you can trade your 1 for my 3, and it's working. And I'm like, damn. And what's interesting is, so the other criteria that I look at is how much money have they raised publicly. So if it's a project that, again, like Rika didn't quite meet this for me, and there was a project recently. What was the one with the Kevin in it? It was the one, what was it, Pixelmon, the proper rug pull one, where it was supposed to be like Pokemon on the blockchain, but the models that they raised 75 million, and the models looked like they were made by a 2-year-old. Like, it was so bad. Like, people were posting memes about it. Like, there was one character from there called Kevin that people.
Oh, they're like in the middle of a field, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. The ones that look really bad. Yeah, so I was like, okay, let me see how much money they've raised, and let me see how that money has translated into the product. But then when I went to actually see, the cards and stuff, I was like, oh, they're not for sale yet. They're pre-orders. So they haven't actually taken a penny from the public yet they've already built a full product. So that, for me, I was like, wow, that's super legit for a company to have built the product, done all of the stuff, but they haven't taken a single penny from anyone yet. So that was like, okay, these guys are serious, legit, they got the credibility. And the last one that absolutely sealed the deal for me, and this is the one that I had the concern about, I actually contacted them directly. I'm like, hey, I can see you can scan the cards, the physical cards, and get the NFTs. Are they locked into your app? And that's the one that I was like, oh, maybe it might just be like a fun collecting thing. But then they're like, no, you can go on IMX and trade them on IMX right now. And then I looked and I'm like, hey, they're on IMX right now. I can literally get the NFT, stick it on IMX, transfer it to my wallet, do all that stuff. They haven't even launched publicly and they're interoperable. So I was like, man.
Wow. Wait, so you can buy them with OMI then, right?
Yeah. Sorry?
Because on Immutable X, you can buy things with OMI.
Yeah. So
wow, that's insane.
And you can actually buy it in OMI as well, which was really, really cool. Actually, if you can just give me a quick screen share, what I'll do is I'll like what it looks like. Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, this company is ahead of Akomi in some of the ways that you're saying. Like, they have the bundle trades, the 1 for 3. You're able to buy the NFTs with Immutable X. All right, hang on one second. Let me add this to the screen here.
Oh yeah. Someone must have bought an NFT recently, because there was one listed for below 1 ETH. It was like 0.2. I think that someone must have bought it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So basically, you can see Immutable X. The Joker is here. And if you hover over, you can see that it says, I don't know if you can see the little pop out, but it says 10% royalties to the creator. So DC is always taking 10% from the trades. And then
10% fees.
Yeah. So I think when they do go interoperable, I don't know if for Vivi, they're going to adjust the fees on IMX, or if they're going to keep the same fees that they're using on Vivi. I don't know. Maybe that's part of the negotiation.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I was like, okay, they're interoperable. They've got a legit company. They've got the licensing. They've got a really cool roadmap. They've got a working product. And the last thing, the one that sold me, and this is the one that actually this is what made me a bit hesitant at Vivi at the start, and why I didn't go hard in. I went in Vivi, but I didn't go hardcore in, is the price point. Because when I looked at the store, if you don't know what it is, and you see like a Todd Batman for $80, obviously at the time, before we know what we know about Todd, it's like $80 for a Batman, like for a digital Batman. I could buy like a PS4 game or something for that much. And you're like kind of hesitant, and it's like, the price point for these, average, this is what sold me, was average is 70 cents per NFT.
Jesus.
And I was like, oh man, that's a killer. But for that price point, people expect, there's going to be a huge amount of them. They've actually, in terms of scarcity, they've done it really well. Is they're, in terms of individuals, so across the whole set of all the different types, there are 6 million. However, for the rarest one, there was only 1,000 of the rarest ones. So the scarcity percent-wise is really, really like super scarce. So I imagine that, because it's a trading card game company, keyword being game, and someone asked them on the Discord recently about games, they said, just stay tuned. I think given just how much of the product they've built before going public, I genuinely do believe that there will be some form of an actual trading card game on the blockchain that they're going to be working on. So that, again, like super excited. I mean, that part is more speculation, but in terms of everything that's confirmed, like it's right there in front of you. IMX.
I mean, if they already have the cards, I don't think it should take too much work to be like, okay, this card does, has 20 HP and does like 8 damage, give or take, and this one's like a healing, give the card characteristics. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Oh, K-Mac just said in the chat, the first NFT that was listed has just sold for 0.22 ETH. So I don't know how much that is. That's like a few $100, I think. But think of that, right? That average price for that NFT. So they probably got it for free at the event, but the average price for you to buy it is 70 cents. So 70 cents to 0.22 ETH. What's that as a percent like?
What is ETH right now? Like 2,400? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just checking. Oh, okay, so 0.22 ETH is $600. Let's round it down to 600, right? So 600 divided by 0.7. Whoever just sold it made 857 times what they bought it, what technically retailed for. So you can see straight. And the thing is, Vivi was always meant to be an app for collecting things. It was never meant to be a business or profit, like, something that people use to make crazy profit. But this is my one kind of concern about HRO, is they've wanted it to be like a collectible kind of thing. But given what I've seen in the first set, I'm 99% certain it's going to turn eventually into a kind of Vivi thing where, the boxes, they get listed and they get brought out by, a ton of bots, like the sneaker ones. People are like scooping the floors of things, because there are some really interesting cards in the first set. One that caught my attention that made me buy the 15 mega booster boxes was the 1938 DC Action comic. So I don't know if you know about that one, but the cover of that is from the cover of the first ever DC comic. So it's like the equivalent of Marvel's #1.
Yeah. And that's in card form though, right?
Yeah. So it's a trading card.
Gotcha. Take in. How much was it for the 15 mega boxes that you got?
So one box gets you 24 boosters, and each booster has 7 cards in it. So that comes out to roughly 160 cards. So you're getting 160 physical cards, which link you to a 1-to-1 pairing of 160 NFTs, and that costs $120. So it averages out to about 70 cents an NFT.
That's awesome.
And you've seen it just sell one for 0.22 ETH. So I think someone probably pool-sided it, to be honest. They saw 3 of them and they're like, let me buy the cheapest one.
I mean, also, this is, you said you found out about this a few days ago. When was the actual drop, or when could you buy them?
So they haven't actually started distributing them yet. Right now is a pre-order, so it's going to be in middle of April for the UK. I think in the US, people will get them delivered a bit earlier. But some people, as you can see, who did list the cards, there was a physical event in Texas. That was their first time showing publicly, like quite recently. And someone from the VV community actually went to that event called Blake, and he's got some physical cards. And I think through him, he started mentioning it, and then Biscuits, so she's like quite hardcore physical collector. She posted about it on Twitter, and because she kind of posted about it, I was like, oh, okay, let me take a look. And then I was like, okay, they hit this criteria, and by the end of it, I'm like, damn, they just hit every single one of my criteria. I need to follow my strategy and buy in, because I said if the next time a project comes along that hits the same criteria that Vivi hit for me, I'm gonna go hard. Because I don't want to make it, because I was hesitant with Vivi, so I was like, okay, I'll go for a punt. Let's go a bit hard.
So you got into VV in 2020, late 2020, right? Or early 2020?
It was early 2021, so like kind of basically around like kind of early March time. So basically now, like it's been
so about a year. So it took you about a year to find another project worthy of investing. Do you think that because of what's Moore's law or whatever, that it will take you another year to find another project worthy of investing, or do you think you can find the next one in like 6 to 8 months?
That's a good question. I don't think there's really too much of a correlation between, like a time frame. I think it was just coincident. Like technically, they could have launched the same time as Vivi, but I guess because obviously I know like a bit of the history of Ecomi, I guess it made sense for them to launch Vivi earlier. Obviously, because they had like other projects that didn't go as well as they'd like them to have gone. So obviously, it made sense for them to launch Vivi earlier to start getting the cash flow in, but with the history that's behind the company of HRO, they've got already existing products that are successful bringing in cash flow. So the HRO app is like, or the platform, like they were able to have the luxury of delaying it for a whole year to just build it. And now that they've launched, it's like they've launched close to what I would consider, okay, not a complete product, but in terms of from a user perspective, it's pretty complete. And they've told me some other stuff that they're going to be releasing very soon. So I'm looking forward to the other features that are going to be unlocked in the app that right now we can't use.
So I think this is a perfect time to launch too, because like the markets, whether it's crypto, whether it's stocks, fear are down. Fear's at an all-time high because of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine. I think it's like learning how to drive in the winter, in the snow. If you can learn how to drive there, you're going to be good on dry roads or in even like the rain. Once a lot of this stuff like kind of blows over and it ends, the next couple months or a year or so, be a lot of money going into something like this that seems as pretty safe, that has major IP attached to it. I mean, it's first appearance of Joker as a card. We might have it as a digital collectible, but yeah, this is really cool.
I mean, what I'll show is, so this is kind of like the main company behind it. And so, they've got Cartomundi, which is like the trading card game, company I told you about. They've got Tencent. ESL, they're quite big on, esports and kind of go down, they do fiat and crypto. All the minting is, they said, choose where you mint your NFTs, including Ethereum and Immutable X Layer 2, where collectors can buy and trade with no gas and carbon neutral. So, they kind of do the thing where they're, pushing the carbon neutrality, because in their FAQs, obviously, you can tell by their audience, it's like the kind of traditional tabletop kind of gaming community, and also like gamers. And we've seen from Vivi, if we go back to, the Cthulhu, like that community, like proper tried to cancel them from Vivi. And so clearly they're trying to approach it from a way where they're being very persistent with the carbon neutrality. They're really trying to shove it in your face. So, a lot of these guys, they'll kind of learn to accept it. And that's actually bullish for Vivi as well, because a lot of these people, when they come to accept, like Immutable X isn't like a horrible blockchain, horrible layer 2, then yeah, that's gonna be good for Vivi as well, because then some of these guys will kind of leak into accepting Vivi as well, which I think is bullish for both sides.
Yeah, I can picture some type of interoperability, just because I mean on Immutable X in general, just because you have that with the DC partnership as well. What do you think might happen with if Vivi gets DC Comics? Do you think these cards would take a hit, or do you think that they're pretty separate right now?
Yeah, not necessarily, because these aren't comic books. You have to remember that these are trading cards. If Vivi's got DC trading cards, again, it would be kind of like the second time it's happening. So I don't think Vivi would be doing trading cards specifically. Comics, yes, I can kind of see them doing that, and I'm expecting them to do comics. But for a lot of people, it's like, who is the first on a blockchain? And if you kind of look at when they minted, like I received an NFT from one of their team members yesterday, and because what's cool is because they are on Immutable X, you can see the data, and it says it was minted in December 2021. So I was like, oh, that was last year, and I didn't want to like mention this like proper publicly and cause FUD, but we know that Vivi recently had a migration, right? And do you remember what day they had that migration, or what month?
What day or what month it had completed?
Or kind of completed / started the NFT migration specifically.
The NFTs I think were in December, right?
Yeah.
So and then I didn't think they completed until like January, February or something, right?
It was like January. So it kind of started in December and then it completed around January time. And then I didn't want to mention it, but you know how some people get like really fussy about what was on the blockchain first. So if you look at what was on ETH first, if I'm looking at this DC NFT and it says minted in December 2021, but Vivi's migration didn't complete until January, then someone could come out and say, hey, Vivi's NFTs weren't the first on ETH for DC. Yeah. It was these guys, because this is what the blockchain shows. And then they could go into this whole debate. But to me personally, I don't care. I don't care who's on the blockchain first. If it looks cool, I'll buy it. That's why I'm not like a mint hunter or anything. I don't care about this stuff. If it's cool, then I buy it. Like, that's the type of person I am. But, people could actually put that argument forward and then it will kick up an entirely new debate. You have to remember that their partner, Cartomundi, that's, doing the physical cards for them. It's a trading card game company behind one of the biggest trading card game franchises in the world, Magic Gathering. It only makes sense to me that they would be working on a card game. So when it comes to gamification, and plus Immutable X has done Gods Unchained, and Immutable X has been just, out of nowhere, they started promoting them a lot recently. They had an AMA yesterday, I think, with Immutable X as well. So with Immutable X, like Robbie and those guys. So I'm like, okay. I think most likely we will see a trading card game. And the thing is, the fact that they've got such a refined product already, and it's working very well. I can see them having the capacity to dedicate to building a game, because some platforms, when they launch a product, it's like a very early beta version of a product and they have to get user feedback, refine it, sort out bugs, but their product's already working. And the reason for that is the kind of base of the product is built on, existing work that they've been doing for 5 years. And they said that they've already minted like 20 million NFTs for like the other brands that they work with, and the app held up very well. It can handle the load. So that was the other thing, is like, hey, when the users come in, is your app gonna break and give me, an error, like, while I'm trying to like trade and buy? And they're like, it's held up really well, like from the other stuff.
Great.
That kind of put a bit more confidence in me on that side as well.
You've mentioned before that they can ship to UK and the US. How do you pre-order those, and how do you get it shipped to you if you're not in those countries?
Oh yeah, so basically, the way that I kind of went about it is, if I go, so it depends on if you're in the UK or US. So in the US, I believe you can go straight to their website. So what I'll do is I'll just show you on the UK version first. So if I just type in HRO, so they use a distributor in the UK. So the distributor, you order through them, and then they will basically have it shipped to them and then shipped directly to you. So I bought, quite a lot of these, big booster boxes. They're £120. Oh, they actually DM'd me recently, people asking this question. So I'll explain the answer to it, but people asking, hey, why is it £120 in the UK site, but why is the US site $120? What about the exchange rate? Because obviously a pound is more than a dollar. And people threw the same argument at Vivi as well. It's like, why are we paying £1 for a gem when the US people are paying $1 for a gem? So yeah, basically, with the US side, Zavi is one place. Game, a very well-known, company. I don't know if you have Game in the US, but Game is like a game store. Yeah. So let's see, I think it might be HRO. Is it the shop or? I think if I click shop.
Oh.
Yeah. So we can actually look at this. So yeah, here we go. You can buy it directly from there. So you can see $120 for the thing. I believe they've only got like a quarter of their pre-order stock left. Like everything started selling quite fast since the Vivi community found out about it. Because you know how they're like, they're just going and buy everything. But yeah, what's interesting is 24 booster pack is obviously like the best dollar value. Like you're getting 70 cents for an NFT. But the 8, 4, and 2, the reason why these are special is they're doing a kind of like a promotion with the new Batman film. So the 8-pack is the only pack you can get the Riddler in, and the 4 and 2 are the only ones you can get like the new Batman in.
So those are like the chase ones.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I kind of ordered all of them. But yeah, like you can kind of like explore their site HRO. If I just go back to the homepage, yeah, so you can kind of see like you get the physical and you scan it, and then you unlock the 1-to-1 digital. So what I mean by 1-to-1 is these all have mint numbers. So let's say you get mint number 79 Superman as a physical card. When you scan it in the app, you're going to have mint number 79 NFT Superman, and then you can go list that on Immutable X, whatnot. And yeah, like you can kind of see some of their roadmap is, yeah, here we go. So they've announced their first partner. You know, we're extremely proud to announce we partner with Warner Brothers. And then they're going to be doing the first chapter of the DC Unlock. Now, this is going to be the next thing that they're showing. I think it's it's going to be a month after they launch. And they're going to be doing digital onlys. And they told me, out of their digital only set, if you're someone who completes the full digital only set, so that means you can only buy it as an NFT in the app, they're going to have Cartomundi custom print the cards and ship it to you as well, which is really cool. So
how many of that can happen? Like, how many times do you think that could happen? Do we have numbers on that?
Oh yeah, so some of these digitals, they're going to be in an auction, and they're going to be, these auctions are going to be like the premiere kind of stuff. So they're going to only have like 10 editions of some of these, like super scarce, and they're going to be like you know, really kind of highly sought after characters. But for the most part, like these digital collections, I think they're going to kind of have to balance it based on their user base, kind of like what Vivi did at the start. But I think they're using data from their previous projects that they did with, like, you know, CSGO, PUBG, you know, the cards from that, on how to kind of balance the scarcity with user base.
So are they going to have like limited print runs? Like, is there a limit to how much can be ordered?
Yeah, so basically there's no reprints for the first set. So when I say set, a set for this is kind of like equivalent to maybe one season in VV. That's how I would equivalent it to. So for the first kind of whole DC thing that they're doing, that's limited to individually 6 million individual NFTs for every character, every rarity, all put together. For the rarest ones, like I said, there's only about 1,000 of them, and then you can kind of like see it that like someone's done a whole spreadsheet on it, because you know, like when you look at VV, I think in total we've probably hit like at least a few million individual NFTs by a few million total NFTs by now, surely. So yeah, it's like you can kind of see like how it fits in.
So that's the one thing that a lot of modern Pokemon card investors don't really like, or I guess anything in the last 15 years that there's no first editions, and they could just have print run after print run after print run. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. So I like that these guys have a set amount that they can only print, and there's no print run after that. It's really legit. You said 6 million for the limit for that for those HRO, right? 6 million was the max amount.
So individual NFTs, there are 6 million in total, but I would strongly advise looking at the breakdown, because of the really rare ones, there are not many, like 1,000. They're
like impossible to get.
Yeah. If one guy posted a picture at the real life event they had in Texas, they gave out a few free packs. One guy from the free pack got one of those like 1,000 super ultra mega rare mythic, you know, cards. So I was like, man, this guy's made a lot of ETH today. I don't know how much that's going to go for, but if like
it's nuts.
Like I hope a very rare card just went for 0.22, something like that, you know, probably go for like 20 ETH or something.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't sell that too quickly, because I feel like once the hype kind of builds up, you know, like I only kind of heard about it in passing, and I feel like it's not really out there. Like I don't think so. I guess there's a section on Immutable X listings for signed cards. Is when they say signed cards, do they mean something like, hey, if I want something that you once owned, I can transfer you my card, and then you transfer it back, and then on the metadata it shows that you had ownership of it? And is that what they mean?
I think it will be more, a bit more like, you know, more robust than that. So the idea is the signature could exist as a digital signature as an NFT, And Immutable X, being on an Immutable X, you have the ability to pair NFTs together. So basically on the signing thing is you can have your digital signature, so you can have Randy Chavez as an e-signature on the blockchain, and then you could then link the Randy Chavez digital signature to someone's NFT, so it's now signed. And that exists as a pair now. So yeah, they can do that.
And that's the video, my friends. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you learned something or enjoyed the content, feel free to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing for more hero content like this. So that was a very informative stream right there. I'm gonna link both of those YouTubers in my description. They're both VV YouTubers, NFT YouTubers, and yeah, be sure to subscribe to their channels and check them out. But yeah, if you didn't know before, you should have a better idea of whether you want to invest in Hero after hearing all of that, if you stuck to the end of the video. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So with that, I'm not a financial advisor, neither were the two gentlemen in this video. Nothing I say is financial advice because I'm learning just like you guys. I am just your friendly neighborhood genius. Ha ha ha! Ha 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 ha! Sharing his thoughts and opinions on this interesting app known as Hero. So take everything that you hear from me with a grain of salt, because things could change. And with that, if you would like to follow me on the Hero app, my username is right there on the screen, so feel free to add me and leave your username in the comments so I can add you back. And with that, thank you again for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Until then, peace out and hodl strong, my friends. Later.